To the Ice Age, children. My God, it's freezing out here. Do you know how cold it is? And so, today, I want to talk about the insanity of Psyren. And how excited I am it's getting an anime. Hey, welcome back to Car Chat. My name is Cheryl. You're on the workshop, and we're going to cut straight to the chase. Psyren, okay? Psyren was this old Shonen Jump manga that came out way back in the day. Yeah, I think I saw it around 2009, 2010, something like that. And what you have to understand about Psyren is that it's half psychic power battle survival game. And then it's also let's hunt down a cult in the modern day to avoid a oncoming apocalypse. It is a very strange piece, and it doesn't really fit into regular shonen canon. Like in Bleach, you have two different worlds, okay? Well, Psyren has that too. It has this world here and this world there. But the normal world is not the important part. And yet in Psyren, we kind of see of all the fears of the early 2000s, mid-2000s Japan, kind of come to fruition. Basically, let me adjust this, sorry. Basically, what we're seeing in it is we're seeing these strange moves throughout it, strange obsessions with psychics and unknown phenomena and cults that are popping up. And you see the characters trying to navigate this very messy place. And there's like urban rumors, people are disappearing from school, and people are just like, whatever. And it kind of mirrors those fears of like the North Koreans kidnapping Japanese and hauling them back up to the border. You have these, it's just very odd compared to your regular shonen story. And I'm not sure how I really can express it. I sat down and read through the first 8 books over the weekend, okay? It's been a complete snowy, freezing mess. It is 15 degrees out here. It is absolutely cold. So forgive me if I'm a little more bundled up instead of I normally am, okay? And yet, as I was reading it, it occurred to me that some of these scenes are a lot more vicious than you would see in your regular shonen. Like, yeah, maybe Ichigo gets into a fight and he'll get bloodied up, okay? But in Psyren, we see villains killing other villains just matter-of-factly. There's this entire idea that human evolution is a bad thing, that progress may in fact be negative, that this is as good as it's ever going to get. And that is kind of harrowing when you think about it. The characters are trying to use their powers for good, okay? They're trying to advocate, hey, we are trying to make a change, but the villains have the same powers. They share the same source, and they're using them in just frankly horrific ways. Like, I thought it was funny. If you guys don't know about shonen manga, especially Shonen Jump, because Psyren was a Shonen Jump manga, characters are determined, their presence in the story are encouraged by editor through these monthly polls. And one of the funny things that struck me is that this random background character, or who served as like Ichigo's, not Ichigo, but the main character's Agiha, served as Agiha's teacher, okay, is just a Yakuza tough who's able to make himself stronger. And he's a very generic Yakuza tough guy, man. And yet, he was number 4 on the poll, okay? The main character was number 1. And number 2 was the main chick, Ayamiya, right? Because of course she is, right? That's all the fan service and such. Which, by the way, I want to point out, this is kind of a weird observation as you get older, where you perceive fan service in one way when you're younger, or like something so mild, so modest, was titillating, now is absolutely just tame. I don't even see it anymore. But I remember when I first read it, I was like, oh yeah, this is quite good. And now I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is the most tame thing I've ever seen. Like, what was I thinking? It's odd, isn't it? It was him, let's see, it was main character Ageha, it was Ayamiya, yeah, then it was what's his name, Ryusei. No, Ryusei was the third main character, and he was like kicked down to like 6, and the fourth one was just a kid named Kyle. And I'll say Kyle is a weird character in Psyren too, because Kyle is a black kid. Like, clearly it's a black kid who is a main character in the story. And he gets a bigger role as the story goes on, but he's a background character generally. All of the kid characters, which that's already weird to say, are background characters in this plot. And yet these kids are being pulled from the plot and thrown into these crime thriller situations before they jump into your typical shonen powerhouse fight scenes near the end. And I don't know, man. There's just something about Psyren that is so strange. It's like, it's a story about time travel, right? But the time travel is actively shifting day to day. And yeah, they jump to the future, and then the time has changed when they jump into the future. But it's still a little odd. And they are prohibited from making direct changes to the timeline by telling people. That's like one of the big taboos. You cannot tell people what you're going to do to change the timeline. But then they can do other things to vaguely shift the timeline off. But if that's the case, then how are they able to hunt down this cult that's trying to cause the apocalypse in the first place, if they are prohibited from doing this? The entire plot has this weird, vague, hazy rule feature that doesn't quite add up. And I understand why it never really picked up compared to the big 3. And it was made to be like a contender, but it could never really stand on those grounds because everything is a little bit hazy. Everything's a little bit like this is half a dream, half reality. Let's look at the villains, for example. The villains of Psyren are focused on, one, recreating the world to make it more ideal for people like them, with people with psychic powers. And yet, the world that they want to make is basically a wasteland where nobody else really survives. As they show certain characters who get knowledge of the future and then make themselves into like minor warlord tyrants in the future. And these people, all they do is they go around and they mutate whoever's left to turn them into these things that obey them. But I'm not sure, man. And like there's a type of duality being shown in Psyren. And I do think it kind of encapsulates all of these fears. Like, one of the villains seems to be affiliated with Japanese police. And so there's this underlying suspicion that the Japanese authorities do not have the best interest in mind. But then the story betrays that by saying, that, oh, this millionaire here built a facility to protect the kids and act as like a last safe haven. But do you see kind of like the weird ambiguity of like what it works and what doesn't? And another issue I see with Psyren is that it's very Japan-centric. Like, the author never imagines what other countries are going to do. In this case, what do other countries look like? What is happening elsewhere? Is this all we get to see? And I mean, mind you, the characters are Japanese. Of course it's going to be Japan-centric. But we're talking about a global apocalypse here. Is this really how they decided to play this plot? I don't know, man. And I keep reading through it, and I'm absolutely captivated by it. Because it is one of the most chaotic, like, I want to write this scene today plot lines. And then suddenly, bam, the story is changed, and we're talking about this over here now. But it doesn't really make that much sense. Even so, I'm really excited for the anime, and I'm looking forward to it. I've been hyped about it all day. I've been reading more of the Tsukihime, a visual novel as well, all this week, and I've been really trying to dig into that. There are some interesting changes with plot and pacing, I would say. But I don't know if I like the new systems that they've introduced in the Tsukihime visual novel. Maybe I should do a introduction to Tsukihime sometime, just to give you guys an idea what I'm actually talking about. Yeah. I know I'm just been ranting about things I like, so. Well, sorry about this being more of a filler episode than anything else, but thank you guys for watching it. What do you think about Psyren? And write me a comment below, okay?